Okay, we got 972 Clown Guy in the other room over here, and what he's doing, he is wet sanding our muscle car makeover, our Chevelle. Let's go in and check on him and make sure that he's doing what he's supposed to be doing. What the fuck's going on? Sanding and smoking. Boy, that's a great combination. I see you're not using a block on this. Why?
It's too small. You won't be able to do
it's too small of an area. Now, this is the jam of the car, am I right?
Yeah, pretty much the trunk.
And what are you doing to it?
Sanding right here.
Sanding with what?
Wet sand with 400.
Sanding with 400. Okay, so you're wet sanding 400 by hand on all the openings of the car.
Yeah, and I'm not using that much.
But I told you not to sand without a block. I said you always got to use a block.
But you said especially on this.
Exactly. I said you don't have to on that because that's a jam area.
Yeah, I got to get right here. I got to get all the way around. I won't be able to
walk
in there.
Now, we also had another situation. If you look down here, you can see that's black. That's already been painted, that black. And what I did is I taped it off because we don't want you to sand that.
No, I'm sanding right here and right here.
Okay, well, what about this lip right here?
Yeah, right here too.
Okay, so you're going to sand those lips?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm using barely little water so the trunk doesn't get filled up
with water. That's a good idea. Do not fill the trunk up with water. Use minimal water. That's a good angle right there. We don't want to get water all splashed up in the trunk, and we want it to look good. Keep the good work up, and let's get this fucker ready to paint.
Got it.
So our muscle car makeover is coming out really, really well. We're, I would say, 90% done wet sanding it, ready for paint. Now, if we look up here, you can see the sheen that I got from the wet sanding. I don't know if you can see it or not. There it is right up here. You can see the reflection on that, and that's what wet sanding does. Wet sanding is the best idea for making that show car professional finish that you want. If we look down on the car here, you can see the sheen coming in and getting on the primer and giving it a nice semi-gloss finish. That's the type of finish that you want on your prep job because that is going to make your paint job.
Welcome to D.I.Y. Automotive School with my friend Pete and Minnie, the body shop girl. It's everything you need to know about cars and more.
Now, once we get done with this operation here, with this stage, what I will do is I will go back over the car and spot prime it in the necessary places that it needs. And then once it's spot primed, we'll go back and block sand the spot primed areas, blend them all in, and then after that's done, we're going to start dismantling the car and getting it ready to paint. This is a long fucking procedure, but it's a step-by-step procedure that says you, or should I say I, can do it. Look at yourself in the mirror. Don't be the fucking idiot and say that's too big a job for me. My friend Pete's showing you how to do it right. If I run into mistakes, you're seeing the fucking mistakes because you are going to make mistakes. Okay, what we're doing is we finally got everything wet sanded, block sanded down. So now it's time to start dismantling the front end parts. Now we're going to go ahead and replace his inner fender wells, so we got to take the front fenders off anyway. While we're at it, we're going to go ahead and paint everything separate on this, and hopefully everything's going to turn out good. So we've already removed the hood because the owner requested that we go ahead and paint the back side of the hood black again. That was the factory original setup. As you can see right here, this hood has probably never been off this car. This is the first time it's probably ever been off the car before. and we're going to go ahead and replace all the insulation in it, and I'm going to find out if he's got that piece of rubber there. If he doesn't, I'll go ahead and tell him to order that, and we're going to go ahead and paint his hood black on the inside and make it look brand new as well. Can you get a piece of that gray Scotch-Brite, please? Where'd you put that box of Scotch-Brite? Motherfucker! 972, come here. Come here. Did I tell you to put all that in the office? I said the primer, not the fucking Scotch-Brite.
The box, okay?
You've been fucking off all morning, 972 fucking guy. Wake up! And don't tell me you can't lock that fucking door. Alright? Hurry up! You're fucking around this morning. I don't fucking like it. Now, our technical assistant guy is getting our Scotch-Brite. I was going to kind of run through how we're going to prep the inside of that hood and get it ready for painting. But while he's doing that, we'll go over the front end of the car and show you what we're going to do to it to dismantle it, get it apart, so we can make this thing look like the show car winter fucking paint job that we're trying to get. If 972 would get off his lazy ass, it would go a lot fucking better. So once again, we're at the stage where we're going to go ahead and remove both fenders. We're going to take both fenders off because I want to go ahead. If you notice right here, you can see the inside of that fender looks pretty fucking tacky. So when you open this hood up, what's going to happen, it's going to look brand spanking new on the outside. It's going to have brand new paint and all this other bullshit. But once the hood's open, it's really going to look shitty if we don't go ahead and paint the inside of these fenders along with the outside. So what we'll do, once we get all this taken off, and we're going to go ahead and remove the doors as well, we'll go ahead and paint the body shell itself first, and then paint all the other pieces last, and that way they won't be sitting around getting chipped or scratched. That way the body will be painted, then all we'll have to do is paint all the bolt-on pieces and then bolt them on as we are done color sanding and buffing them. And that's the way I usually do these extensive paint jobs, you might say. A lot of people, what they'll do is they'll paint the jambs first, and then they'll bolt everything back together, and then they'll paint the whole car as one unit. And that if you don't have the space or the availability like I do, I got a big shop here, I got a lot of space where I can have stuff leaning up against walls and out of my way. Like you see right here, if you don't have this type of space available, then I would suggest that you paint all your door jambs and all of your interior jambs first. Go ahead and bolt everything back on the car, back tape everything, and then once that's done, then you can paint the car in one unit. I don't mind doing it that way. The problem that you have when you're doing it that way is there's always that tendency of getting a tape line on all the jambs, and you know, a lot of people say, you know, use this, use that, and this, that, and the other, so you don't have tape lines. Well, if you look real hard, you're going to have a tape line, whether you use foam tape or whether you back tape it with 2-inch tape or whatever fucking system you got going there. It might not show up 100% flawlessly perfect. Where the fuck is 972 fucking guy at? Always fucking around on me. What are you fucking doing here, dude?
Look, this is what happens. Watch, look at it. See? And it doesn't let me take the key out. That's what it happens. It's not me.
What the hell? I just did it. I just fucking locked my own fucking door. You've been out here 10 minutes stroking your ass on a fucking lock.
Well, shit.
What the fuck, 972 fucking guy? And he's supposed to be my technical assistant? Hold on a minute, what's in your hand?
It's a cigarette.
That's why you're fucking around, so you can smoke your cigarette.
No, because the door was locked. Unlocked.
So it was locked?
No, I
So
can't.
you heard me coming out there and unlocked it?
No, I couldn't lock it, Pete.
Did you hurt your finger?
Nah.
What happened? Let's see.
Nothing. It's fucking messing with that key.
Oh, okay. It took me about a split fucking half of a second to lock it.
Well, you saw.
I don't know what your deal is with locks and doors, this, that, and the other shit. Alright, but I know one thing. You smoke cigarettes, and that might be a good excuse for you to go out there and do that.
No.
Get a fucking Scotch-Brite out. Use both hands.
I got it.
Alright, you got your cigarette in one hand, you're puffing and huffing and, you know. got here is we got 972's big head in the fucking way, and I can't see nothing.
There. Is that better?
Yeah, sure. You got one hand in your pocket, and the other one's holding a cigarette, so you're not working today.
I'm working.
You are?
Yes.
What are you doing? You're not doing anything. You're going to watch, listen, and learn, and then you're going to do it. First of all, we got the hood upside down, and it's on this stand. You don't want to push hard on this hood. You know why? Because you will dent this fucking hood on the outside, and I am going to be pissed that it's dented. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to take a Scotch-Brite. Hello. Okay, this is a gray Scotch-Brite that I cut in half. All right, we also see that this thing is filthy dirty right here. Look at my finger. Look at that. So we know we can't just go ahead and paint this hood with that action going on. So what we're going to do is have 972 get some fucking rubber gloves on, put your cigarette out, cigarette breaks over, get some rubber gloves on, get a cup, put some lacquer thinner in it. And we're going to go ahead and clean this using lacquer thinner and our Scotch-Brites. So once 972 gets this hood prepped and ready for paint, what we'll do is we will go ahead and refinish this using an acrylic enamel paint. It will be a semi-gloss acrylic enamel paint, single stage, that will require a hardener. When you're using acrylic enamel paint or any type of single stage paint, you always want to use the hardener that it requires to use, because if you don't, it will take days for it to dry properly, and then it will shrink down and usually end up looking like shit after a couple months. Always use the, what the fuck? Yes, yes, not a full cup, about a quarter. Motherfucker. How much you got? A little more than that, that's not a quarter. Split that into four, and let it count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Says mini on it. Can you grab it? Come on, technical assistant. Let's go. Vominos. He's not fucking doing good today. I'm not happy. So what I got here, I got some nice rubber gloves on. We're going to take our Scotch-Brite and we're going to dip it in here like this. And we're going to clean that, saturate it with lacquer thinner to get that grease and slime off of our hood. Now while we're doing this with our lacquer thinner, another thing we're doing is we are scuffing it down for our paint. When you do this, when you're in the stage that I am, where it's already wet sanded, you want to be fucking careful not to move the hood around on the stand that much, because what will happen is that it will scratch the top of our hood. Now, I am suggesting that once you are done doing something like this, that you always when you flip your hood over, always double check it, and you'll probably have to resand some areas where the stand was located on the top of the hood when you were doing this. We're also going to pull out this insulation here. He's got brand new insulation, so we're going to go ahead and throw this away.
It's not in there. You probably
Find it. It's in the top of my toolbox or something, bud. We need that clip tool. So he's got new insulation. We're going to go ahead and throw this away. But we're not throwing it away yet. Don't ever throw anything away until the job is completely done. We're going to set it over here to the side for right now. If I go in there and get that tool, we got a situation, 972. That's okay. Let me go with you. Come on, technical assistant. Let's see where the fuck it's at. Because I think it's over there in the drawer I said it's in. Send them over there to get a nice little specialty tool. That's all we needed. Keep the clips off.
Careful.
Okay, there you go. There you go. Pop it off of there. So, while he's taking those off, I'm going to go ahead and saturate my hood with lacquer thinner And hopefully 972 is paying attention here. Are you? Can you go get one of them yellow wipes? Remember those, whatever they are. Remember they were orange or yellow or some fucking color? Can you go get those and bring those over here, please? Now, while 972 is busy looking for our rag that we're going to saturate all this grease up with, I want to show you the difference. Hello? What did I say? Dip that motherfucker in and start wiping that shit down. There you go. All right. While he's doing that, we got two different styles of Scotch-Brite. We got a gray one, which is fine, and a red one, which is a coarse. Now, you can always start out. What's that? Clean it up, bud. Go a little faster than that. Let's get her done. So, what you can do actually is you take your red Scotch-Brite, scuff it down, and then go back with your gray Scotch-Brite. Since this hood is so fucked up and it's got so much grease in it and it's an original hood that's never been painted before, we're going to start out with the coarse Scotch-Brite, which is gray, which is red, I'm sorry, and then we'll move over to the gray to finish it out. I am saturating that bitch like I own it, see? Like I own it. Like it's my fucking hood. Okay? You see there? That's what I'm doing here, bud. I'm getting that bitch so sloppy wet that you think you're down on Harry Hines Boulevard playing games. Okay? You see what I mean? It's got to be wet, 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 bud. Now I want you to get the rest of that fucking hood and get it saturatedly wet. Don't push real hard. I'm going to take the red Scotch-Brite and Scotch-Brite it down. Stand over here. You're in the way of the camera, 972. Muscle car makeover, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm showing everybody how to customize their fucking car at home, dude. It's a big job, but you know what? You can do it. Am I right?
That's right.
Alright, so what we're doing here is we got to get the ground wire off because the ground wire is still on that fucking Fender. Let me do that real quick while we're talking. And as you can see, we are removing the front fenders on our muscle car makeover. Hold that fender, bud. We're removing the fenders because we are going to paint them on the inside and do this guy a nice job. Now, the real reason I'm removing these is because the inner fenders are bad. So since we got to take them off to put the inner fenders on, we might as well go ahead and paint them off of the car. Does that make sense, bro? Does that make sense with you, Buck?
That makes sense to me.
Come on over here, man. Now, you're an old visitor of SWRC. Tell everybody what you're working on. Come on over here. We got an old visitor that moved down to Dallas, Texas from Michigan. Where at, bud?
We're in Michigan? Midland, Michigan?
Midland?
Yeah.
Now, is that like in the middle?
Right in the very center.
So that would be like a shortcut for Midland. Midland, Midland,
right.
Midland.
Exactly.
Right in the center, okay.
Exactly.
So our buddy right here, Mr. Yankee guy from fucking Michigan, tell everybody your full name one more time.
Dave.
Okay. That's a good full name, okay. He's got a 19, what do you have, 69 Roadrunner, fucking Daytona, fucking big wing bastard, what's up?
That's right, 69 Dodge Daytona.
It's a Dodge Daytona, it's got the big giant wing, you're having that restored right now. And you don't know if you want to finish it out or not, but you got some other shop up there doing the metal work for you, and they're doing a beautiful job.
Absolutely.
Okay. So, Dave is actually an old hot rodder guy. Him and his son have restored, what, several cars, and you own several cars?
Yes. Yep.
Now, what do you have, Dave?
I have a 68 Roadrunner.
Right.
My son has a 67 Dodge Coronet.
Okay.
I have another 69 Charger.
So you got all these over at your house?
Well, the Charger's still up in Michigan, and the Daytona's still up in Michigan, but...
Okay,
yeah,
so is this guy restoring both of them for you up there?
I just
All right.
hadn't had
Just
time
a
to brought the other one down yet.
One-time situation, okay. So Dave is very familiar with what it takes to restore cars. Now you had your own shop up there in your backyard, big giant shop, kind of like my building here.
Yeah, a lot like
I mean, you're kind of homesick when you walk in my friend Pete's because you say, son of a bitch, I used to have a shop like that in my backyard.
Absolutely. That's why I got to come over and visit, because it reminds me of home.
Okay, so you sold that place and now you're trying to do something over here and open a little shop up, not as big as this, but just a hobby shop though.
Yep. Exactly.
So basically what we're saying here is Dave knows what muscle car makeover is, and to do the job right, you have to take it to the extent of doing it the proper way by using it and taking it to the extreme like I'm doing here. Am I right, Dave?
Absolutely.
Because if you just do your scuff and paint fucking situation, what do you have?
You have a scuff and paint.
You have a scuff and paint Earl Shives.
That's right.
So when we're dismantling the car to this extreme, that means when you open the hood up or when you open that door, you're going to see the detail of magnitude that is really out there for the viewer that wants to look at that car and say, wow, this is a fucking collector car. Dave's got a car similar to this one. Now this is a Chevelle, yours is a Charger Daytona.
Yep.
And both these cars, this one and yours, this one's a collector because it's a factory OEM, big block car. It's all factory original metal. The motor's never been out of the car. It's the original mile car. So this one's just as rare as possibly yours, maybe. Am I right?
Yes.
When you're restoring a car like this, Dave, what would you tell somebody out there? Would you tell them to cheesecake on materials and get good deals on paint supplies and all this other stuff? Or would you tell them you need to use the stuff that's really going to be the high quality stuff to make the job last a long time?
Well, if the car is worth anything at all, then you need to do the right steps and spend the right money on it.
Okay.
Otherwise, you're gonna have to end up redoing it because it just won't be worth it when you're done. So
and one more thing about a job like this, I want to ask your opinion because, like I said, you've been down the road on this and you've done them. These type of jobs are not over the night, over the border situations here. We're talking a lot of extreme work, a lot of time-consuming operation. This, you know, for somebody to do this at home like I'm doing here, I've had this car here, let's see, probably 3.5, 4 months. It would probably take Mr. DIY about a year and a half to do what I'm doing. Am I right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's what people don't understand is the time that it takes to do it right. If you don't follow the situation and listen to what I'm trying to tell you, you're going to fuck it up. Take your time, do it right. Dave's car's been over at the shop for what, a year?
A little over a year.
And you're getting anxious, but you don't give a shit because you know it's
I'm
going
not getting anxious because I know what it takes to do it. So.
But you know that when it's done, it's going to be done right.
Absolutely.
Okay. This is Pete. Like I said, we're dismantling the car. You can see we got one fender off. We'll get that other fender off. We'll get that front cowling or whatever the fuck you want to call that fucking hood extension piece of shit off of there. And then we're ready to start painting the car and getting her done. We'll see you then. All right, here we are back with our Chevelle. Now, we went ahead and removed the doors on the car. We went ahead and removed all the front suspension. You can see right here that all the suspension is taken off. You fucking cocksucker. Did I say suspension? Wow. All right, here we are with our Chevelle. Now, we're getting ready to put the body into the paint booth and paint it. You can see that we've removed the doors off of the vehicle right here. Now, the way that we removed these, we went ahead and took the hinge pins off. What that does for us is that does it. All right, here we are with our Chevelle. Now, we're getting ready to put this baby in the paint booth to get it painted. And what you're looking at here, you're looking at basically the shell of the car. The trunk's been removed. All the front body parts have been removed on the vehicle. You can see that right there. And we also removed our doors. Now, the way that we removed the doors, if you look real close, we went ahead and removed them by taking the hinge pins out. Now, we're going to go ahead and replace those bushings and brand new hinge pins when we put them back on. But we don't want to disturb the hinges themselves. Leaving the hinges in the factory position is going to assure us that when we hang our doors back onto the vehicle, it's all going to line up, all the body lines will be straight, and it should shut just like factory. And then if you look right there, you can see that we went ahead and replaced our new inner fender wells for the owner. We went ahead and replaced his electric fan for the blower motor. He's asked us to do that. I said, no problem, we'll go ahead and do that. And then once we get the car painted, we'll come back and we're going to detail all of the upper part of the core support here. We'll go ahead and black out the inner cowling one more time for him. Make it look like a brand new car once again. That's what you call detail. Detail is a big situation when it comes to the muscle car makeover, because we're going to make this car look like it had the off-frame restoration, but we're not taking the body off and doing all the high-tech expensive shit that it takes to do the off-frame restoration. So yeah, that's the situation we have on our restoration called Muscle Car Makeover right here, as you're looking at the 1969 or 68 or whatever the fuck year this thing is, Chevelle. And we went ahead and took a red Scotch-Brite and we cleaned up our blue paint. This is all original. It's never been painted before. The car's never been taken apart. You can see how clean it is. There's no rot. There's no rust. It's got a little bit of surface rust right there. Once we clean that up, we'll get rid of that flakiness on there. That's just old paint. We'll go ahead and clean that up and put some spot primer on it. We'll repaint that area for him, and it'll last many, many years again. But this is what we use right here to clean these areas up. These are not going to be seen. They don't need a lot of prep work. All they need is cleaned up and Scotch-Brited down so the paint will stick. Now, by removing the doors, this is a real good situation here. By removing the doors, we're getting inside this door jamb real good. So when you open that door and you look into the door itself, you're going to notice that it still looks brand new, spanking clean, and it's going to look like a brand new car instead of having overspray in there and all this other crazy shit going on. It's going to look like it just came out of the factory. So painting the car without the doors is a good idea to me. There's a lot of people that don't do it this way. This is how I do it, and I like doing it this way here. I've done it both ways. I've actually painted the door jambs, then I put the doors back on, and I'll put the fenders back on, and all this other stuff. But it always makes me open the doors, come back in, and then I have to tape the doors and everything off and blow some paint down in there and some clear coat because it's always dry in there and it looks like shit. So we're going to go ahead and paint this one separate. Alright, so what we're doing now, before we pull it into the paint booth and get it all taped off and ready for paint, we're going to make sure that we get as much dust and trash out of this car as possible. Now, over the years, of course, the trunk is going to collect numerous pounds of fucking dirt and trash and dust. So this is one area that you got to concentrate on before you paint your car. You've got to make sure that you got as much trash and dust out of there, because even though that you're going to take this off and all this other stuff, there's still holes where air is going to get through and it'll disturb all that trash and eventually get on your paint job. So I got my vacuum right here. Alright, this is a shop vac, just a cheap, inexpensive one. You can buy those on Craigslist, dirt fucking cheap. And then, of course, I got my blower right here. So what we'll do is we're going to go ahead, and I've already been working on this. I've been working on it for about the last 20 minutes, cleaning it out. We're going to blow it out, and if you watch real close, you can see that dust. You can see that dust flying out of the car. And then after we do that, what we'll do is we'll come back and take our vacuum cleaner and get everything that we missed with our blower. Alright, now that our car's cleaned out, I'm going to go ahead and blow the interior out as well and repeat my process. Once that's done, we're going to pull the car over to the paint booth, start taping it off, and getting it ready to spot prime so we can go ahead and do our final wet sand job on it. And when I say final sand, we're only going to spot sand it. This has already been sanded down to 400. Wherever I spot prime it, I'll go ahead and blend that primer in using minimal water. And then once that's done, we'll clean the car off, and we will go ahead and start painting this thing. And hopefully, it's going to look like a brand new fucking car, doing it my friend Pete way. I had to disconnect the battery there. What we'll do, we'll start taping this car off. Once we get it taped off, then we'll come back and spot prime that using our 2K primer The same primer that we used to prime the car, we're going to spot prime all the areas that need to be spot primed, such as this area right here. You can see where we have some bare metal right here. We got some primer showing and some paint showing in this area. We'll go ahead and prime that. Here's an area right here. We got this little area right here going across, and just basically getting those small areas that we need to get to go ahead and make sure that this thing is in surely primed and block sanded perfect. That is the very crucial situation I have here. I don't know how many times I'm going to tell you this, but your prep job is your paint job, plain and simple. It's a situation that says cruciality is here and it's here to stay. All right, so let's not skim it and you know, just blow some paint on it because we've already primed it twice and this, that, and the other. We want to make sure that our muscle car makeover is going to look good and it's going to be done right. Now on the door jambs ourselves, we're not going to put any primer on that because we are going to go ahead and use sealer. This is not shown on the outside of the car. It doesn't get any UV rays, this, that, and the other. So it's very unnecessary to go ahead and prime the door jambs and wet sand those. What we'll do is we'll back tape this here. So you don't need to worry about your door jambs as far as 2K primer goes. But once we put our sealer on the vehicle, once I show you how to do that, then we'll go ahead and put sealer on our door jamb area itself to seal everything up. So what I'll do now is I'll go ahead and tape the car off. Looks like an easy tape job here, but we got to tape it properly so we make sure that the paint job looks professional. And when I say properly, let's look at this trunk area, for instance, right here. You can see how this lip right here, it rolls down. Do you see what I'm saying? It's rolling down right here. So what we're going to do is we're going to tape the bottom of this off. All right, we're going to tape it at the bottom here, so when we paint the car, the paint will roll around and it'll stop on this edge right here. We could tape it off right here if we wanted to, but you know, it's already been primed. We could tape it off right in the center there, but we're not going to do that. We want it to look very, very original. When you open that trunk up, we want to be able to see that lip there that has the paint all the way around it. And then on the door jambs, we're going to go ahead and tape it all the way into the back of this right here. This is our inner door panel, our rear door panel. We'll roll the tape around this edge right here, and then that way we'll get the paint nice and clean on this edge. And then we'll come across here and we're going to back tape this edge across here, coming up here, and then back around just like that, and then up this edge right here. And then it'll come back down, and then we'll go around here. If you look right here where my hand is, we'll come down this lip here because we want that paint to roll up under, because part of this edge shows right here. So we'll tape it off in this area here inside the windshield post, come back down, and then behind our dash right here and around. And then when we take the front end off, we're going to use plastic to cover the front end. But then on the other hand, we're going to tape it off. If you look right here, you can see that line where it stops. We'll tape it off right where that black line is and then come up here and around and have that all taped off. And then naturally we'll go ahead and tape off our windshield and our back glass as well. So I'm really starting to get excited about our muscle car makeover because we are on the downhill slide now. That means we've already went to the peak and we're climbing down that hill. We've already done all the extreme work necessary to it and have went through the magnitude of dismantling the car, prepping the car, priming it, sanding it, priming it again, sanding it. Now it's in the paint booth. We got to spot prime it only, lightly sand all that down, and prep it up one more time for paint, and I think it's ready to shoot paint on it. Let me get it taped off. I'm going to spot prime it up. We'll be back after I block it down and get it all prepped up, the final prep I might say. Always remember one thing, all right? The final prep job is your paint job, plain and simple. If you don't prep your car right, you will not have a good paint job. I've had cars come in here, and I'm going to go ahead and throw one at you that was just recently. The guy brought his car over, and he said, well, I already painted it once, but the paint looked like shit on there. He wanted me to go ahead and paint the car. Now, normally, I don't do that. Normally, I will not paint somebody's car that has done their own prep work. I just don't do it. It's not a good fucking gesture, and of course, this is what happened. He brought his car over here. I wet sanded the car down because it was a shitty paint job. He used shitty paint supplies when he painted it. It was a shitty paint job when he brought it over here. He used cheap, inexpensive supplies. I should have never fucked with the car. But being my friend Pete like I was, I did. I went ahead and prepped it all up, got it ready to paint. We bought the best paint supplies there is. I mean, you know, for your money, you can buy cheap paint supplies, you can buy very high-tech paint supplies. We went ahead and bought the high-tech paint supplies, thinking we were gonna cover our ass, and the paint job still didn't turn out like we wanted because the prep job was not worth a shit. Now, it's very important to make sure that that motherfucker right there is prepped up fucking properly. If it's fucking not, you fucked yourself in your own ass, and you can't blame nobody fucking else for it except you. So let's take our time, let's do it right. We've been working on this car off and on now for about 4 months. Let's not fuck it up now by cheesecaking ourselves and rushing through it. I'm gonna tape this bitch off, I'll fucking be back, and hopefully we won't get the stick in our fucking ass on the situation. It's gonna turn out to be a beautiful fucking car for the guy. He's gonna love it. And the prep job came out perfect. We'll see you later.
Thanks for watching D.I.Y. Automotive School. Classes don't stop till you know everything.